Hi, my name is Storr. I'm Head of Psychology at Sheffield Girls. I'm just going to talk to you a bit about what psychology is like when you study A-level here. If you're a bit like me and you like to watch people's behaviour and you're quite keen on why people do certain things, then you might be interested in psychology. It's all about the scientific study of the human body and the mind and why we do particular things. So for example, if you're interested in why some people behave in a certain way at a football match, but then they might be the chief executive of a business and behave in a completely different way, you might be interested in some of the topics that we study. So we cover a wide range of subjects in psychology, ranging from mental health subjects such as schizophrenia, OCD, depression, phobias. We also then look at social influence, which is something that we look at in terms of why we conform or why we might obey society. For example, we look at the Holocaust situation in Germany, whereby we would take the stance of that the German society may have conformed and obeyed to what Hitler asked them to do, and we explore that kind of avenue of human behaviour. We also look at topics such as attachment, so why babies attach to their mothers in particular, why mothers and fathers behave differently with their children. So for example, there's a lot of science and research behind mothers would be more nurturing, caring, where fathers tend to take on the role of play and simulation, and therefore they may develop more independent skills because their fathers tend to throw them in the deep end compared to mothers who sometimes can just keep them more safe, shall we say. We also look at things like memory, so why we learn the way we do, why we forget things. So when you nip to the shop and you've made your list in your head, but then when you go to the supermarket, sometimes you might forget what you've said on that list, so then you have to mentally go back to your kitchen, why we do things like that. We also look at eyewitness testimony, so why people are affected in a crime situation where they've witnessed a crime, but then anxiety might impact on how they recall that crime, and that people have been imprisoned for 20 years for crimes they haven't committed, but the evidence has been based on eyewitness testimony. So we do a wide range of topics that you can study. We also study things like relationships and addiction in year 3, which takes you through why you engage in a relationship, and over time, obviously, with the influence of online dating, the spec has actually changed to incorporate now how younger people tend to find dates as opposed to how your parents might have done back in their day. The psychology course is an exam-based subject, and there is no coursework, and you would take 3 exams at the end of the 2 years. In psychology, we have a wide range of support that is available, and Beth's just going to talk you through that now.
Hi, I'm Beth, and I study biology, chemistry and psychology at A-level. So I chose psychology because I thought it linked with biology really well, and that definitely comes up with biopsychology. I think it's a really great subject to learn about because it links to everyday life really well, and we also have booklets and we can just learn everything we need to, all the content for the exam, and there's questions on there, and there's also questions on Firefly that you can complete, and then as soon as you've done that, you're good to go really.
There are also lots of extracurricular activities that you can get engaged in with psychology. We've been lucky enough to go to trips in London and other places, and Casey's just going to talk you through her experience in London this year.
Hi, I'm Katie and I study Spanish, Psychology and English Literature at A-level. For psychology, there's lots of opportunities to go on trips. So for example, last year we went on an exciting trip to London in which we got to put in what we'd learned into practice. So for example, we had a sleep and dream talk, which was really interesting, and we went on a Jack the Ripper tour. We visited the Freud Museum, which is one of the main psychologists that we learn about. And we were able to see where he lived and learn about his life. And we also had a phobia talk in which a spider was brought in, a tarantula, which obviously frightened a lot of people. And we were able to put the treatments into practice.
Just a final thing to talk about in terms of perspective of how you might be able to take psychology into the real world. There are lots of different job opportunities available in psychology, such as human resources, getting into the police force, looking at criminal psychology if you're interested in ITV dramas and why people commit certain crimes. We could also go into the field of sports psychology, looking at rehabilitation. So there's lots of different job opportunities available to you, but one that might be quite prevalent in today's society due to the pandemic is the increase in mental illness that's around at the minute because of the situation that we're currently living in. There has been articles that have outlined the need for psychiatry. So if you're interested in subjects like biology and chemistry and you're wondering whether psychology would fit, there is an opportunity out there at the minute to study those subjects, train to be a doctor, and then you can specialise in looking at mental illnesses in particular, which is something that's prevalent in today's society. And finally, we're just going to hear from Serena, who's another psychology student, that's just going to give an insight into how she's found psychology so far.
Hi, my name is Serena. I study psychology as a A-level. I also do chemistry and biology. I really enjoy psychology because I think it's a really interesting, different perspective to other subjects I learn. I really enjoy the subject because the content in there is really interesting. For example, we did social influence where we learned about conformity and how people respond in everyday situations. I've enjoyed psychology so much so that I've brought it into my everyday life. I train my dog using the behavioural approach, in particular Pavlov's conditioning technique.